Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Fallen here. I got a new series for y'all. It's going to be called Fallen Unfiltered. Basically, pretty much, I'm going to be starting like a talk show almost. Going to be bringing people on the pod, talking with me one on one, shooting the shit, talking about their seasons, talking about, their teams in real life, talking about college football, NFL football, you name it, talking about the league, whatever. And I think it'll be cool. Get to interact with people, give you guys something to listen to, get to know about everyone better. So I figured I bring on the reigning Super Bowl champ here, Wealthy. What's up, Wealthy?
What's going on, my man? Glad to
Ch-
be here.
Chilling, dog, chilling. Hopefully this new thing works out. Hopefully the people like it. I figure this is a good place to get people on where it's just one on one, man. They can speak their mind, unfiltered, unedited. This is a straight raw recording that'll be thrown up on the league YouTube channel, and we'll see how the people like it. Hopefully they like it.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good opportunity to get users who don't get spotlight from our, annual podcast to get their voice heard because a lot of our users, a lot of our active player base, they want to get their word in and voice their opinions on the league, but they can never find themselves on the podcast. So I think this is a good way to get more users involved, and ultimately get more clout for the league.
For sure, for sure. Getting people in the pod is kind of difficult because it's like, all right, we're doing it at 8:30 or 9:30 or whenever, but this will kind of be like an as is type thing, and it'll be helpful now that I can just kind of sit down, record, and as me and the other guy find time, and you generally I'm free most of the time, and finding the pod's a little different. Hopefully this will just be a nice little segment we got going on here. Get a bunch of people on. Hopefully, do it once a week. But we're gonna take it and see it how it is. I'm sure as soon as we pop up, I'll have people in my DMs that want to hop on. So with further ado, I brought up that you won the Super Bowl. You want to talk a little bit about your postseason here? And you're the only Super Bowl champ left in the Discord since Swayze wanted to snake on us. But figured I'd bring you on. We played a close Super Bowl, but you want to talk a little bit about some of them games before? Give a little shout out to some of them guys there.
I mean, I had probably the toughest Super Bowl run that, in Rejects history, granted our history is very small, but I think having to face Trevor, Milky, and Mad Bomber, I think that's a tough task for anyone. And, we got the job done. That's all I can say. This offense really stepped it up in the postseason. Granted, we didn't have that big of a day against the Vikings as he held us to
That was
about.
a tough game, man. That was back and forth. He made a couple questionable calls. I thought if he'd have got aggressive with it, he had you on the ropes, but he just didn't go for
100%,
it when
man.
he
I
when he
think
needed
what
to.
you got to do.
Yeah,
He
man.
didn't go for the jugular.
Nah, man. He
He
had you
was
on
he
the
was
ropes.
he
He kept
was
you quiet all
he
day
had me,
long.
dude.
And I mean, had you made a fourth down instead of playing it safe and punting it here, there, and like a couple of them, or he kicked a field goal? Didn't he kick a field goal on the goal line rather than try and
Yeah,
go
I
for
mean,
it? Yeah, I mean,
obviously
had
I'm
you
not
had you came up with
complaining.
something there, we'd have been talking about maybe a Milky Super Bowl champ, or hell, even myself. But a couple questionable calls there. But I know you're not complaining. You ended up putting it together. I mean, everyone had Milky was this perennial juggernaut. He was going to run through everyone, and then he met Wealthy Muffins, and the Wealthy Muffins offense. Yeah, you outscored him, and your defense did pretty well for him. No one had much success against him all year, man. He's so tough to slow down. But that offense of yours was clicking all the time. Terrible, so tough to defend, so tough. And then the Giants just got embarrassed for the second year in the row in the conference chip. What was? Do you remember the score of that game?
I remember we lagged out during halftime, and I'm pretty sure he ended up quitting and gave me the forced win. Actually, that is what ended up happening. Anyways, the Giants, he I kind of like to think of him as little brother.
Little bro. He's a little bro.
I
Giants
think
is little
so,
bro.
dude. I think Giants because he's always set. He's always the last one to things. You got me and Milky. We brought up our offenses, both of our offenses. Both got the devs on the QBs. We're both on top of things when it comes to our offense. But Trevor is always one step behind. You take a look at Daniel Jones getting his dev 1 year later. And the fact that he still doesn't have he just got a number one receiver in Hamler this year, like these are the kind of things that you just kind of need, in the off season. Even really, you got Hamler, but at what cost? You had to salvage your whole future away for that guy. Like, I know
Yeah,
I'm
what did
not
he
one to
trade?
sell.
What, a first, second, third, and a first, second, and fourth?
Yeah,
That's like
Kings
something you. That's like
ransom.
what you pay up to draft a QB. But I mean, man's got a slot wide receiver.
Yeah, I
Dude
mean,
better be winning
I don't
off. Dude
know.
better
I don't know
be
how many.
sweeping everything with that. I mean, that's a tall task too to even put up with a guy. I know he's had some success with Golden Tate and Shirley and Shepard, but like, is Hamler that much better than those two guys?
I mean, he wants to. The biggest factor is speed, obviously. You take a look at the
For
speed.
sure.
Hamler's got
Oh, we
96
know
speed,
Hamler's
96
a speed merchant.
acceleration.
Had there not been a guy named Rondell Moore, I mean Hamler would have got drafted just as high as Moore. I mean, what they
100%.
went,
Yeah.
what 6 and 10? I think they went 6 and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, phew. Speed kills, dog. I mean, people see the success that you see this like Milky's got. You've got speed all over. I've got a couple guys, but actually my team's built a little bit more differently than your guys's. But I mean, you see all over. It's pretty easy to get fast guys open. Just
Hmm.
even if you can hit one or two deep shots a game and keeping the guy honest, like having speed helps a lot. You still need those big possession guys. You got to have guys that can beat man coverage and beat the press. Uh, but I mean, he paid a premium for it. You kind of boxed him out, and he
Yeah, I
paid he
mean,
paid big,
you
but
have to have leverage in trade
for sure.
negotiations, and
Yeah, man, you made a
you
couple
know,
big deals. You made a couple big deals this offseason. You traded away a superstar to get another one you had surplus of, and so you trade away
yeah,
Mike
Mike
Evans.
Evans,
You make a
he
couple
was good
trades
for
here and
us.
there, and then you pick up Todd Gurley. So now you've got Jameis Winston, Todd Gurley behind him in the gun. He's got O.J. Howard up at tight end, Chris Godwin. You got Scotty Miller. You got who else is going to be catching the ball for you this year?
I actually drafted a rookie. Name is Chris Olave, and he went to Ohio State. He's got good speed. I expect him to be involved in the offense this year a lot, taking on the number two role that Chris Godwin inherited last year.
Chris Godwin played lights out, dog. I hated playing against him. I mean, so you beat me in the Super Bowl. You beat me pretty good. 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was close. I had you at half, but I mean, stopping all that on offense, I ain't built
The
for
tall
that. I
task.
wasn't good for it. I wasn't good for it, dog. I wasn't good for it. Nah, I mean that game was fun as hell to play. But hats off to you, man. You earned it. You beat me good, and I choked another year in a row. But this ain't about me. You got your dub. You got that Super Bowl chip next to your name. I mean, you're in the Hall of Fame for a reason. Figured I had to go big or go home on this one. So, since Swayze wasn't here, you are definitely looking over the shadow of Swayze now, and as he's not here anymore, you're the only one with the ring. I call you up. Mine only mine doesn't even do a half ring. Mine just says mine chokes. I call you up. You
Look,
at least
man,
got a ring, man. Ain't no one else got that. That's
halfway to Jim Kelly.
hopefully not. Hopefully I can squeak one out here. My window's closing pretty fast, so I got probably the next two
Very
years is
fast.
legitimately what I've got for. So I got to make some big moves, some franchise shaping moves, because I mean I'm thinking we're gonna get at least 5-6 more years in this, right? You got to expect that.
Yeah, a lot of our our games are being played very quickly. Guys are being active, getting their games in. You love to see it. I think what we can take away from this off season, and especially, like receivers, in my opinion, like if you want to talk about that, like this year's class was especially loaded on wide receivers. Going back to the Trevor
Yeah,
thing,
for sure.
trading up to
It was
10. I
loaded at
mean,
wide receivers, but to counter it, they had this draft was heavy on skill positions. The first one was big on O line, D line. This one was big on wide receiver corners. I think for sure. I think we saw some pretty talented corners go. I mean, you had a couple of the quarterbacks. You had Trevor Lawrence, and then it was a bunch of guys. Some of them might turn out to be something. Some of them might turn out to be a whole lot of nothing. But the big one was, I mean, guys got impact rookies out there at wide receiver now. Um, a lot of people are feeling pretty comfortable. I mean, heck, this was even had a couple good tight ends drafted that I think that'll be pretty good contributors. I think this was loaded on skilled positions. I mean, there were a couple of linemen here and there, but I mean, you're gonna have one or two couple guys chip in there at star. That's to be expected. No real running backs in this class, but yeah, for sure, wide receivers. In a wide receiver heavy draft, I don't know if trading up was the move, but we're not here to talk about Giants. I think people realize the value in the passing game and developing your quarterback, and I think people are starting to realize like who was your running back when you won the Super Bowl? You had about 15 different guys suit up and carry the ball for you the past 2 years, and I mean I lost my horse, but I had Corey Grant, who was he picked up off the streets. Like backup was Royce
yeah,
Freeman. I mean, what's he doing? Nothing much. Like I mean, I think people are starting to realize if you put your assets into wide receivers and developing into not necessarily even a pass heavy user, but you've got to be able to pass the ball when you need to when your run game isn't working. You can't count on the run game to get you about 200 yards every time. It's just simply not realistic. I think
100%. But I do
for
think
sure.
that the run game, it does like this narrative that I kind of started with, having this OP offense, but not having, that dominant of a run game that you to succeed. But I think, the run game is still very important in my opinion. Like unless you're like a generational offensive type of guy, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I'd say I'm pretty good at
You
offense.
had to keep
So,
me honest, dog. I mean, sure you had to pick. Basically, playing you it was picking who beat you, but you were able to run the ball pretty effectively with Fournette, just to keep you off guard and keeping you honest. If you're playing a pretty solid user that knows what they're doing, you've got to be able to sprinkle it in. And some games you might be able to run the ball a little bit better. Some games it might be tough sledding. You're churning out, trying to grind out first
hmm
downs as you're mixing in your pass game there. But I mean, you've got to be able to still run the ball in the league. Um, Having elite running backs helps, but if you know what you're doing, you can kind of get around that. But you could say that for a lot of
hmm
different things. But I think for sure, I think running the ball. I mean, as much as people want to say like when you look at the numbers from last year, the thing that wins ball games is not turning the damn football over. I mean, yeah, you're looking at great quarterbacks. They're putting up like a three touchdowns to INT ratio. I mean, that's pretty solid. The best teams in the league are the ones that don't turn it over. And when you put the ball in the air, two out of things that happen are bad, incomplete or interception. You know,
100%.
you can play conservative all you want. You try not telling people not to run it, but you got to be able to know when to run. And one of these times, you're going to be in a game where you got to put the game away. And chewing the clock, you can't sprinkle in the pass game the whole time. You've got to be able to mix in a couple of runs. Like, yeah, I'd say you've got to have some pretty solid runs. You got to know what runs work in Madden. In terms of Madden, there are runs that just flat out don't work. Get like I tell people all the time, get a stable of couple plays you like 5 or 6 pass plays that you feel good with that you can get first downs, or ones that beat man, or ones that are going to beat a type of zone a guy likes to run, and then you sprinkle in a couple run plays here and there, and you've got a solid game plan of what you like to do, right? And then
Right,
it's
right.
building off that, and a good user is going to pick up and stop what's working against you. So you've got to have wrinkles, like one or two options on the different plays, whether it be motioning a guy to just throw him off, maybe you're faking a hot route here or there, or you're going out of one formation to another. Um, just getting guys thinking and throwing them off guard. I mean, and that was so tough playing you was you can't predict what you're gonna do because everything you do very very well, and high praise to
I
you,
think
man. Took a lot of
one of
time
the
in the
most
lab, didn't it?
underrated parts. Sorry, what'd you say?
Said it took a lot of time in the lab, didn't it? I mean, we play. I bet you we play at least 2 or 3 times a week. You know,
Oh yeah,
keeping them.
100%. I think
Yeah,
if
for
you're not
sure.
in the lab right now, it's like what are you doing? Like you see guys, you see me, you see Fallen, Trevor, you see the elite users in this league. You know, get in the lab and just play.
For sure. Just keep playing
Rest, just
games, playing,
repetition.
playing, learning what works and what
But
doesn't work. But
one of the most underrated aspects, in my opinion, of passing the ball is being comfortable, knowing your playbook. I think playbooks, they play a really big factor into how well you do on offense because, you got to know what play you got. You have your money plays, you got your run. If you know your playbook by the back of your hand, you know what to run in every single down. And I think that's what that's what brought me over the hump last year because I had to play for every situation. I had spread, I had the angle, I had the ends. It was just a jack of all trades type playbook. And granted, I did switch, but a lot of that was because of the fact that I wasn't really happy with my run plays. So having a good playbook, it really it kind of separates you from the rest of the league because if you know your playbook, you just have such a big advantage because you know how broken defense is this year. Like it is with with
defense
how
is
the
tough this
Madden
year.
is.
Defense
Yeah,
is
dude, with
tough.
how tough defense is this year, like you gotta like you gotta take full advantage of that. And I think one thing that teams can do is getting in the lab and practicing playbooks, just recycle plays, see what works, what doesn't work. Like even when I'm not in the lab, I'm in practice. I practice with my team. Like right now, I have my practice just set on random. I'm just playing. Like stuff like this gets you familiar with your plays and keeps you fresh for every game. And I think the guys don't really take it. The guys don't really take the lab seriously, but it
Or
really
some
does
people
show on
only take
game
the
day.
lab seriously when they're winning, right? They only
Yeah,
take
I
the lab
mean,
when they're getting pretty good, or they're beating you pretty good, right?
hmm we didn't come here to talk about those guys, so
Oh yeah, yeah. Those guys will be on it. Those
we'll
guys will find their
yeah,
way on the podcast real soon. Right? They'll
hundred
be on. I
percent.
know they'll be chomping at the bit to get on here. But lab, I feel like we say it all the time. Lab, find your place. Lab, get comfortable.
Hmm
I think we're gonna see some guys some guys break out this season. Um, Maybe not that they're gonna go from worst to first or gonna be in the Super Bowl, but I think there's gonna be some improvement in the league. A lot of guys have been working their tails off in the off season, just getting comfortable and playing and getting better and improving and trying to find something to cling on that is going to separate him from other people. And I think that's for sure something that's pretty big in the league. I know for sure the first season you didn't make the playoffs, but guarantee you worked your tail off. You got that playbook right, and then you showed everyone what the Wealthymuffins was about. I mean, I think even going into your playoff game versus Milky, no one still even respected you. It was like Milky was this amazing juggernaut that people put in the Super Bowl that he was by far the favorite. I mean, you could even say that
Yeah, I
about
mean, if you check out the superlatives, Milky was an overwhelming Super Bowl favorite. He had about 70% of the votes, so it
and
just
you could
goes to
even
show
say you could
how
even say
much
the same
faith
thing in the
people had in
AFC
Milky.
too. Yeah, man. Like people were putting Colts. People were sleeping on my name. And then you have a guy like Titans who's playing, he's got nothing to lose, man. barely squeaked in. Goes and he puts it to Colts. He puts it to Colts pretty good. You know,
I
he's had
mean,
his
let me
number
tell
in a
you, this
while.
Titans guy,
He's pretty
he's been in the
legit,
lab
man.
too.
He's been in the lab. I mean, he's been beating Trevor in the lab pretty good. I don't think Trevor's beaten him yet. Right?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
thinking?
This
I don't think I played him in the lab.
we're gonna have to
I
ask
did play
Trevor
him.
on that
Yeah.
because he's the only one who keeps track of
Yeah, he's the only
lab
he's got a
records.
whiteboard with lab results, but
Yeah,
when he loses,
no,
he wipes them off. You know, your 30-point beaten, those are brushed on the table. But I mean, we just actually got done playing in the lab. I beat you by 2 tutties, but you were the Giants, so I won't hold it against you. That team's not too good, or at least someone thinks they're not that good. But I think playing in the lab for sure is I think that's the way to go. But what about this off season? I know we talked a little bit about your draft. You got Todd Gurley. Did you pick up? Oh, we made a trade in the off season. How about that? I sent a tackle your way for a pick. It's probably going to be a third or a fourth, whatever the hell it ends up being.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Garrett Bowles,
He's not
one
bad.
of the biggest
He's
one of the
not
biggest
bad.
holes I had was at my tackle position as DeMar Dotson. 34, 35 years old. What are you gonna do? Like sometime age is gonna catch up with you, and my other tackle spot was being occupied by Donovan Smith,
Mm.
and he's not very good either. So, you know, going into the offseason, one of my biggest emphasis, well, I wanted to emphasize offensive line because offensive line, as much as people want to say like it doesn't matter or like there isn't that big of a difference between an 80 overall tackle and a 75, 74 overall tackle. I think offensive line matters, in terms of blocking and how much time you get. Granted, there's not much you can do against the elite pass rushers of the world. I still think just having that guy there, it helps a lot. And, with the addition of, I drafted a tackle this year. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he was picked, 12th overall, and
Um, he
I think
was
his
what?
name was
Freyr.
Jackson Carmen.
Oh, he was not
That's
bad
what his
though.
name was. Yeah, so I
Oh,
picked up
you
a
drafted a
tackle,
guard. Are you
and
playing him at guard?
um,
I was just looking over the rookies the other day. He's solid. What 76?
something like that. But
Regardless of where he ends up, he's gonna be a stud.
and then Bowles. I mean,
Bulls will
Bowles
be all
was
right
just
for
like
you. He's not
didn't
bad. I just
really.
didn't want to pay him. He's all right.
Yeah,
He got destroyed in the Super Bowl. That was all the icing in the cake I needed. But I mean, run blocking, I think he'll be better for you at right tackle if that's where you're gonna slap him in there. He'll be solid to run
yeah,
off of. He ain't bad at all, man. He ain't bad.
definitely not.
No, I mean, what were you gonna get better than him?
I
No,
mean, the
no
biggest thing for
tackle
me, I didn't want to get in a bidding
for
anyone.
sure, man. I
And
mean,
I,
there were a couple guys. What Trent Williams was out there, but what are you gonna be one in 6 guys that throw their name out there on them and pray you get them like the Giants?
yeah, see, the thing is, I really don't like to put all my chips into free agency, like
Yeah, yeah.
unlike
I've
other
never been a big
users,
free
like
agency guy, man.
I never, because I don't really like my thing is, Madden, it's a coin flip, that's what it is. Like I don't want to leave my Super Bowl run chances to a coin flip,
Yeah, and then
and
you always end up paying way more than what you want to for that guy too, man. You always end
right,
up
because
paying
there
more
are
because they're
other
in the open
teams
market
lining up to get him,
for
right?
sure. And it's not a guarantee either. You can't put all your chips in it, saying, "Oh, I hope I get Miles Jack, or I hope I get Trent Williams, I hope I get Josh Gordon, I hope I get Jared Goff." Like, there's not any certainty in that
Yeah, and
plan, you
then
know.
you got the other thing is like you got the 82 overall tackles, Trent Williams, you know, and then what are you gonna do? You're not gonna put a bid on the other tackle? Like, what if you end up signing both? You know what I mean? Because then you're locked in to these two tackles, and you only need one.
Yeah,
You
you end
know,
up
so I
like
think
the
duplicate
Dolphins. You got
positions, you
yeah,
know.
the Dolphins. You got fucking you got 10 million guaranteed in Mariota and 3 million a year. I mean, no, it's not much, but I mean, you'd rather not be paying that 3 million on Mitch. You know, it's
Hmm.
just like you can't really choose unless your guy goes out in the stage, and you can't really plan, over signing at a certain position.
Yeah, that's why you don't see me make a ton of moves in free agency. Like I like to pick up depth guys. I really like underrated low key
Yeah, for
guys.
sure.
Roster fillers.
Yeah,
But
man.
other
Even
than
you end
that,
up,
I wouldn't
because odds are one
free
of them
agency
pans out
for
being something halfway decent for you. Like I didn't make any
right.
huge moves, but I'll tell you
And
what,
I
I
think
feel
that's
pretty good
that's
with the
what
guys
free
I get.
agency should be used for.
Yeah,
Like
for
free
sure.
agency shouldn't be this thing where you build your team up. Like it should be a place where you get a couple of your pieces, but the main thing is trading for expiring contracts or good players on bad teams or addressing your needs through the draft.
For
I
sure.
don't think free agency is a stable part of building your team because there's always that chance that one one bad flip for the coin and it's looking bad for you. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on free agency. This is why you don't see me bidding on these big name guys every year.
You mean you were going after Ron Darby, Miles Jack? Those are some big
Oh
names.
yeah,
I
no,
mean, they're
couldn't be me.
fucking. They feel like everyone was a
I
free
mean,
agent
you
after.
take a look at the Giants. They're doubling up on tackle right now with DeMar Dotson and Trent Williams. So you're paying this DeMar Dotson guy for granted it's only a 1 year contract, but like an example is you
Probably
can
be
just
winning that money
you
somewhere
can
elsewhere. Yeah.
100%. And if I don't recall, he does have to sign Saquon Barkley this year, so
Daniel
we can keep
Jones will
an
be
eye on
up here
that
soon
as it goes.
before you know it, man. He's kind of finicky there.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we could sit here and debate what other guys do, but I mean, for sure, I think one of the big things. I mean, I ended up getting. I think I got a 70 undrafted lineman. Fucking, that's a steal, dude. For like a mil, you get a 70 overall rookie undrafted. You can't beat that depth. I mean, hell, you could. He's not gonna. He wouldn't even be a bad starter. He's certainly
Hmm.
upgradable. But I mean, for a depth guy, you're picking, and he's a rookie. You just keep getting him on that cheap. You can't beat
Yeah, I
that.
mean, and like worst case scenario, you're keeping him away from other.
For
You
sure,
know
for sure. Especially with how thin the line is. Like, I
exactly.
know, I know. We were talking a little bit about you, but like, for example, I signed Jamal Agnew. You probably have never heard of him unless you're a Lions fan. He's not a bad corner. I mean, he's got decent speed and decent man. He's not the greatest in zone coverage, but I'll tell you what, I got him for about a mil and a half. And as a depth guy, I think he can play valuable reps. Should I have a guy go down or two? Like he's not the worst in the world. And you know who else was bidding on him? The Arizona
Mm.
Cardinals. Like
Mm.
getting guys like that. I think just guys you can pry away from. That other people can't get.
Right.
Not big moves. I mean, I signed John Brown. John Brown's fucking washed, but he's not bad. If you got a guy to go down, he's better than who's going to be on the streets. Like,
He's got speed.
he's got speed. He's actually got above 80 in all the route runnings, too. You can't beat that.
Yeah, so you got a guy who's fast and can run routes. I mean, I would love him.
For sure,
Are
man.
you
I mean,
kidding
he's
me?
better than some rookie you're drafting. But I mean, he's only a year or two. But I'll tell you what, if I lose a guy, you're basically they're getting premium free agents. And I like last year, you saw I needed another running back. I lost my best offensive player for. I mean, Philip Lindsay was running for like 200 a game. He gets injured, and I pick up a guy off the street. Luckily, I got a good one. But I mean, you never know when guys are going to go down. You see it all the time.
Hmm.
Even in free agency, you pick up some solid depth. I mean, I think that's really what you said. Free agency, just build your depth up. You don't really want to break the bank. I think more. I mean, my philosophy too is just sign your own guys. Develop your own guys. make a couple. You might only have to make a couple hard decisions here or there on who you want to sign and who you don't
Hmm.
want to. But for the most part, you keep it all in house and you keep your guys. You keep building up. You know how they play. You go to free agency. You pick a couple depth guys that you feel comfortable with. Maybe only one starter or two.
I
Uh,
mean, even me last year when Winston got suspended a game, Blake Bortles came in, threw 5
yeah, Blake
touchdown
Bortles you
passes.
signed, right?
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
So, if I hadn't have signed him, I probably would have ended up
You'd be stuck
signing
with a
like
62 overall instead of a
exactly
like a 70
a
Blake
quality
Bortles.
backup.
Yeah, man.
That's what he is.
Dude, I think that's underrated too. People getting backup QB. I guarantee you, your starting QB is gonna miss time at some point. It's gonna happen. They just take too many hits. Take too many hits. Even if you're the smartest guy in the world, they're gonna get banged up. Something's gonna happen. Like you're gonna lose a star player. It's happens.
Hmm.
And do you have a guy behind him that, while they're not going to put up the same production, can you keep your offense going, or defense in that case too, or defense? Can you keep up without missing a beat? I mean, that's kind of how the real NFL works too. You see guys go down all the time, and you test the team's depth. Like,
Whoever ends up getting Josh Rosen this year is going to be, a real, like, it's going to show like a team, a team builder, how he values his positions, because you get a backup quarterback like Rosen, that's a starter right there, if I'm
he's
being
a starter.
honest, in
Now
a
you have to
rebuilding
pay him.
team.
You're gonna have to pay the man. So
But you're telling me you wouldn't take on Josh Rosen for a year to be your backup?
uh, I've
That's
thought
that's
about it.
essentially what I did with Blake Bortles.
I've
I let
thought
him hit
about it.
free agency.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. If you're a team, I don't know why the hell the Bears haven't traded for him too. Fucking double up, Brissett and Rosen. If you're the Bears, why
Yeah,
don't you do it?
100%.
If you're the Jags, why don't you do it? The Jags have who? Blake Bortles, or not Blake Bortles? Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben. Yep.
Fuck, even if I'm the Rams, I'd do it. Shit, I think 49ers would be stupid not to do it. I don't know what he's doing with Jimmy G. Jimmy G's been shitting up his bed. Hell, you get a guy like Rosen in there, you've at least got something. Like they're telling me
Exactly.
there are that many teams that don't need that. Everyone, you tell you what, you don't need that great of a quarterback till you have a guy go down. And you're like, oh shit, my backup's a 62. What the hell am I gonna do now?
Because no one expects their quarterback to get hurt until they get hurt,
For
and then they
sure.
bitch about
Oh my
how,
god, I gotta
their
play
fucking
freaking
backup quarterback
Riley
is
Neal for a
doing,
game.
yeah, like, oh my gosh. And then for suspensions too, like if your quarterback gets suspended for whatever reason, it's nice having that backup who can just go in. Like I would have stuck with Trick. Like this year, I was dumb. I didn't sign a backup quarterback, so I ended up getting a fucking 62 overall Khalil Tate out of
Hey man, I
Arizona.
got I got
Like,
Tyree Jackson, but I'll tell you what. Last year, it was nice as shit having Ryan Tannehill back there. I mean, he was like almost above 80 in all
yeah,
accuracies. Like having him, just knowing like, God forbid anything happened to Drew Lock. Like, dude, Tannehill stepped in. He was the man. I think he only
right,
had to throw
right.
one pass last year, but he completed it. Like, but for sure, I think there are a lot of teams that should be
Yeah, you never know what's
giving
gonna
Miami
happen. I
the
mean,
call.
even I know we're going into other leagues, but last year and previous league I was in, Alex Smith got hurt twice in 2 years, and this guy, like, I had to bring in Will Greer, and Will Greer wasn't the best, but he got the job done. So all I'm saying is
Josh
quarterback
Rosen went
injuries
down.
are
Josh Rosen
like
went down
these.
for in another league. That same league, Milky. Josh Rosen went down for him. Tyree
And
Jackson
Tyree
came in and he
Jackson
won the
stepped
Super
up
Bowl.
and won the Super Bowl. Yep.
Yeah,
So
man.
quality backup quarterbacks is a very underrated part of team building.
For sure, for sure. So maybe when people, I guarantee you, by the time we pump this out, there'll be an offer for Rosen. After we just get
100%.
done, after we just had like a nice 5 minute segment giving Goldmorg free ad time here.
Free
I know
clout.
he's doing hella cartwheels right now. Fucking, he's pretty hyped, definitely, that we're talking about it. But yeah,
I
team
wanna
building. What's going
switch
on?
over to switch over to threats. You know, upcoming guys that could give me a run for my money. And I want to talk about a guy in Philly. You know,
Jakey.
talking about the Eagles. I haven't mentioned his name on the pod in a minute
I
because
feel like
he
he's been
hasn't really
slept
made
on,
headlines.
man. He's been slept on.
This offseason, okay, you want to talk about an offseason. He signed Fournette to a 4-year, $16 million deal.
Cheap
All right.
fucking nickels, man. Nickels.
Pennies on a dollar for a guy who has really good stats. 90. He's got good carrying, good trucking, good speed, got everything you want in a running back. He's just, he can't play more than 10 snaps because he's just going to get fucking hurt. But, you got that guy. He doubled up on safety.
Oh,
And
he got
his
another one too. I
biggest
think they're
need,
all stars. He got a hell of a
yeah,
bunch
so
of DBs. Great moves by
this
him, man.
guy, this guy, going in, he had question marks at DB, and aging, he had to let Malcolm, he let Ronald Darby walk the previous year. So you kind of go in a little reboot here, and that secondary is looking kind of scary now.
Yeah, man.
And we both know how well this offense can be. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, dude, he
Carson
picked
Wentz
up
would
he
have.
picked
People
up a guard
forget
last year, dude.
that
He's been
Carson
doing
Wentz would
really
have won
well.
MVP last year.
Yeah,
With a 50 touchdown to 5 interception ratio.
his line stout, man. 77 at left tackle, 77 at left guard. They're both 1 or 2 years. Still got Kelsey at a 92 superstar. Brooks is an 85 superstar. Lane Johnson, 92 superstar. Still got
Yeah,
Brandon Graham.
hands
Still got
down.
Fletcher
That's
Cox. Still got Barnett. Kind of thin there at linebacker. I mean, he's played pretty well with all those guys there. But yeah, at safety, he added another great corner there. Bubba Bolden. He's got Maddox still there. Jones. Uh, couple young corners in there. But yeah, like you had said, he doubled up at safety. I believe both of them are. Oh no, one's got hidden dev. Or no, they're both normal dev. Got a corner though that's star dev. I mean that basically that's going to be a strength of that team to come. And if in case you guys are wondering, if you maybe haven't been around, Jake Witt went 15-1 the first year in this league. I mean, he lost a fluky playoff game to Trevor. I mean, after he'd beat Trevor by 30 both times, it was a fluky, weird
yeah.
game.
Nobody came out. Nobody thought that Jake Wade would come out flat. To be honest, I wasn't really expecting Trevor to do what he did. And
Yeah,
granted, you can argue about how things happened. Bottom line, this guy, this guy was considered as one of the elite users of the
yeah, man.
NFC.
I mean, for sure. If he does, he's got a. I don't know. I think most improved would kind of be a joke. I mean, because me and you, we know he's
Yeah,
legit, dude. He's a
we
top
know.
user, and he kind of stumbled around last year. He actually had to give out a couple forced losses here and there. He had a work schedule. Kind of was traveling a little bit, so he wasn't able to play all them games. He lost a lot of starters,
hmm
but I think he
I mean,
reloaded at all those.
who the fuck? Who's in that? Who are you playing? He's got a second place schedule, and his
Tell
division
you what, I'll
is
look right
very
now.
winnable.
Yeah, I'll look at his schedule right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got second or third in that division. He got third in that division,
Yeah,
so his
yeah.
schedule shouldn't be
So
too
it's
tough.
Giants, Redskins, Chiefs. He could probably take two of those. Chiefs is a pretty legit user. Cowboys, Redskins, got Saints, got Broncos. He's got Panthers, Falcons, Raiders. Those are all wins. Cowboys is another win. Rams he should win. Lions he should win. Chargers he should win, and then it's Giants, Bucks. I mean, I think he's legit 9 or 10 wins. I don't think he's going 15-1 again.
Easy. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think he can.
I mean, he's
That
got he's
sounds
got
like
he's
a
got Redskins and
three
Giants
to
twice.
five
He's
loss
got
season.
he's got you. He's got me. He's got Chiefs. I mean, he's probably splitting. A good day he
So it's not a
splits.
cakewalk of any means,
No,
but
but
he's gonna get tested.
yeah, for sure, man. He's legit. I think people are sleeping on him, but for sure, I think he's people are sleeping on him to be a contender. I mean, the obvious choice is Milky. Everyone knows what he does. He beats everyone by 40, but
hmm
Didn't do so hot in the playoffs. I mean, little known fact, Milky actually, like, if he either loses in the first round or he can go win it all. That's usually how Milky is, right?
Yeah, he's done demonstrated it, time and time again. This year, last year, and then in the previous league, he did the same thing. So, this guy can get caught very quick. So, I wouldn't count him out for anything. And I think this year, with the emergence of Byron Murphy getting that dev, all he has to do is just run man and then user someone else. So this guy's going to be playing lockdown defense, and Kyler Murray's only getting better. The receivers are only getting better. That offensive line is young. This guy's building a team down in Arizona. I think he's gone so under the radar this offseason that people have been underrating him. With all this talk about Wealthymuffins getting the best running back in the league and whatnot, many people are talking about uh, the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, I mean, you certainly put the league on notice last year, and I think it's got to be respected. People are quick to hype on. They've got that recency bias. They're quick to hop on. Who were the top guys last year, but for sure they know your name now, as if they weren't disrespecting you before. But now you've got that big ass target on your back that everyone wants a shot at the champ, right? I've never won it, but I can tell you I've been in the big game twice, and people look forward to playing you. Just because you got that success, it's oh shit, everyone's watching your games now. It's
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
it's what's
once you
Fallen doing
start
this
winning
week.
games,
Yeah, man. It's oh shit, he's down at halftime to this guy. Is he falling off? You know,
yeah, I
Can Wealthy
mean,
do
you're
it
just
again?
you're
He
just
did it
chilling,
once,
you're just
but
playing your
can
game
he
at
do it
half.
again?
Yeah,
I ain't as
people
good as
just
you.
start they try to
Yeah,
start
man.
false narratives.
Yeah, man. I mean, I ain't as good as you,
You're,
but I can tell you straight up, that's what's gonna happen. It's like, oh shit, you lose one game, and they're going, oh shit, is Wealthy was last year a fluke? Like,
yeah, I
can you do it
mean, that's
again?
what's gonna happen when you got a user and you're an
Bunch of
elite user.
cappers. We got a bunch of cappers, is what it is. Capping,
It's okay.
capping, man.
You can identify the sombrero when it's on.
Hey, there's a meme for that, right?
Yeah, a lot of people aren't
Milky's
big
quick with
fans
that
of it.
that big ass sombrero, fucking clown. Oh wow. Well, I'm excited for this year, man. I'm excited. I think we had a long off season, but I think it's good that we're back playing games. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's all that
every year's
really
fun.
matters.
It's a new season. There's always one or two people that come out of nowhere that you're like, "Oh shit, are they going to make a run this year?" You've always got can the title contenders back that hype up? And then you've always got a couple guys that are just they're going to make some upsets, and you don't want that to be you. Any given
I
Sunday,
think
really.
this year, especially now that we're 3 years into this thing, or 2 years in, I think
Hmm.
the bad teams are finally starting to get better.
Oh, for sure.
And,
We've got a lot of people that are talented at building rosters. I mean, look at what's going on down there in Miami. Goldberg's been doing really, really well.
yeah, if you showed me that roster when it first started and now,
He's he's
GM of the
he's
year
gonna
right there.
yeah, he's doing great, and I think he's been getting better in the lab too. As we were just hyping him up for quarterback, I mean, he put himself in a position that he's basically got a really nice trade chip sitting there for a while. But
Hmm.
guys like Jamie's been doing a good job with her roster too, man. She's a beast building that team up.
Yep.
Stormy's made a couple moves. Rabble,
Hmm.
Rabble got a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, Rabble
Jets,
got younger,
Jets got
got better at positions.
Jets got pretty
Jets.
much Lamar Jackson. Rams made a big move with you. I think a lot of guys now that they've kind of got a year or two of building their team up, they're able to make some moves. I mean, Colts is probably has the best
Heck,
roster in the game at
even
this point.
even the Jaguars, he had a pretty good draft. Drafted Tommy Stevens in the fifth round. Think he is also a team that got better in the offseason. A lot of teams that, you know, They did their player reviews, did their dev reviews, picked up some good depth in free agency, and knocked it out of the park in the draft. And I think it's really going to show for the next couple of weeks. Who's made the most
Improved, man. I mean, I think
improvements.
you're going to see people got to separate from each other. And I think you're going to see people that are rewarded that they put the time into building this roster. Like,
Hmm.
certainly they weren't gifted all these guys, but man, they're doing a heck of a job building it up. And you're going to win games regardless of it. You're going to even beat some people you shouldn't. Um, just based on
That's
having
what
good
I
players.
really like about our league. It gives it's like the lesser talented users, like the user base, like the elite users. There aren't many, so every game for these guys is going to be a dogfight. So whatever you can do to separate yourself from the the rest of the competition, it's going to go a long way in determining what your record is at the end of the year when you stand in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean the playoff hunt. At least the NFC, it's a dogfight. You're clawing out 11 wins, and that's so you're not sweating, but you've got to beat the tiebreakers there. But in the AFC,
AFC.
we've seen new playoff teams every year. But I'll tell you what, I think I think you're going to see a lot of a lot of people are going to be in that hunt for it. A lot of people were last year, and I think it's going to be just as competitive this year. Um, I think I think playoff. We don't want to look too far ahead, but I think overall the league's been improving, and that's been great to see, and especially with trying to get more people involved too. Just not even playing games, but more people involved too. That's been great to see,
Hmm.
especially as you've been here since day one. Since I
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys come and go.
yeah,
That's
man.
why I'm really excited for season 3 because I feel like we finally got the user base. We haven't had anyone leave. Everyone's been doing their thing, and granted, there are ducks, you know, but I think season 3 is gonna be
Third
it's gonna
time's
be a
a
big
charm,
year
right?
in League X history.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
Hundred
third time's a
percent.
charm here. Hopefully, it's a good. I mean, it'll be a good season. We got a good core of guys, and they stick with us. They trust in us. We're running
Mm-hmm.
this thing. Me and you. We'll take it as league's only as good as the people running it. So
Yep. You gotta take it one step at a time, man. And I think doing cool little unfiltered bullshit like this
yeah, man. I don't give a shit. Unfiltered.
really
This is going
gives.
up on the YouTube channel. I'll probably upload it in the morning. Goldenwork's got a podcast Sunday at 7:30. He's doing some big things. I've been
Uh,
helping him out a lot with that.
hmm
Yeah,
We
it's
got
it's
top
nice doing
tens. We got
the
welcome
pods.
committee.
It's nice doing the pods, but time wise, it's a lot of time to set that up. This
Yeah,
will be
but I
good.
think the beauty of this is you can just grab someone whenever you want, sit down. Like we're doing this at, well, I mean, for me at least, it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. for you, but
It's three
for
thirty in the
me,
morning for me.
for me, it's 12:22 on a Saturday night. Like, what am I doing? Nothing.
Yeah, we
I'd
we were
probably be
just
jacking
chilling,
off
man.
right
We were
now.
just in the
So
lab,
I'm just
dog.
chilling,
Just in the
doing,
lab.
talking, labbing, like wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, man. This league's doing well. League's doing well, and you know we're doing good for ourselves. We're doing good. I can't really complain. New season's always got you always got a couple butterflies in there. Off season seems like it gets longer and longer every year. But
Yeah, we got a bunch of cappers, man.
hey, man, as hopefully they stop capping now that they're playing games, and they'll just be capping at. Oh, I should have beat. They'll be capping at power
Yeah,
rankings. Like, oh,
they'll be
I beat,
capping at each other.
I beat person X, Y, and Z. Why did fucking, why am I ranked above so certain person so and so here?
Hmm.
And they'd be capping over power rankings, and I beat Rabble. Well, Rabble
And
beat my division guy, and whatever. And we'll get shithead on here. That'll be a fun pod. I am excited to get in depth and just talk with people. I I think this will be good for the
Mhm.
league. Excited. I'm excited. But that's about all I got on my plate. How about you, boss? You got anything else you want to say here? You're on air. Legal. Everyone in the
Mm,
league will listen to it.
I mean, we touched base on my Super Bowl run. It was
Phew, big run for
miraculous.
you, man. Congrats once again. You proved that you were the best, dog. You were the best last year. And, you know, if you fall short again, you can hang your hat on. No one beat you that year,
I
man.
mean, hey, I
But
won a Super Bowl, year two with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, not a lot of
Floyd
people
can't
can
say
say
that.
that they did that.
Yeah,
No,
no
sir.
one else can say they did that.
So, like, I got my ring. I'm straight.
You got your ring,
So
dog. Yeah, only one else.
now I
Actually, the
just
only one else
gotta.
that's won a ring would be Milky, if you're counting rings from last
Mm-hmm.
year. Or if you're counting other leagues, kind of won the fantasy draft
Ah,
league.
here
But
we go.
nah, I don't want to be capping. I don't want to be capping
Hmm.
that bad. But you know, had to beat Matt in that one and beat Milky in the playoffs. But you know, that's like capping about lab games and saying, "Oh, I beat you in the lab, so I'm putting myself ahead of you in the power rankings." That's
Sounds
some
like a guy I know.
sounds like someone we won't mention, but he'll be
Hmm.
on he'll be on this soon enough. But if you don't got anything else, man, I'm good. I'm content. We're about 51 minutes. We did pretty good time wise. I'm sure people will enjoy listening to this.
Hmm.
We'll enjoy spicing it up, getting people on. You can pop this
Touch
pod
base on
in.
a lot of topics.
Yeah, man, you pop the pod in
As you
on your way to
said, it was
work,
just
chilling at school,
talking,
whatever, man.
talking. Yeah,
Unfiltered.
man.
I'm bringing you on. We'll talk. We're
Unfiltered.
talking football, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
fans of football here. Big football
What
day
we
for
want.
myself. But
Yeah.
we're doing good. We're doing good. So if you don't got anything else, I think I can wrap this puppy up. You good for it?
Our boss. Yeah, man.
All
I
right,
mean, I
man.
don't have
Thanks for
anything
coming on,
to
man.
say.
Good luck this year. Hopefully, no more injuries. No more injuries in the
Hmm.
preseason. We get this season going right, and
Knock on wood, man. Knock on wood.
there you go, dog. You good for it. You good for it. Thank you guys for tuning in when you're listening to this, and I'll post about it, and hopefully we'll get this thing going. So, to the next episode. See you guys later.